A Parker County teen who reportedly threw her newborn baby out a window is fighting to keep the child in her family.
You probably saw the smoke from miles away. We'll tell you what happened to this Dallas warehouse. And an historic trial started with the bang of that gavel in the Senate chambers.
WB33 News at 9 starts right now.
Live from KDAF, Dallas-Fort Worth.
This is all that's left of the house on Daniel Dale Road. 11 family members lived here. Now that family has lost its 2 youngest. 2 toddlers, 1 and 3 years old, did not escape. Their 2 bodies were found together in a back bedroom where the fire started. When the 2 older boys who were home discovered that their house was on fire, investigators say the 2 boys did all they could to try and get their 2 baby brothers out of this house. But when that didn't happen, one of the boys then ran to a neighbor's house to try and get help.
We went over there and we tried to get the babies out. We broke a window. We couldn't get in there.
Smoke and the flames was too bad. So we ran around to the front of the house to try to get them out from the front.
You couldn't even see nothing. The smoke was so thick.
We couldn't do nothing about it.
The mother was running errands when the fire started, and when she got home, it was relief for 2 sons, hysteria for her 2 youngest. She had to be restrained. She wanted to see her babies.
When someone goes through a loss as tragic as this, you know, they have many, many emotional needs, and so we want to be able to help them in any way we can.
Investigators are still figuring out what sparked the fire. The family did have a space heater. What they didn't have was a smoke detector. Officials say that could have given everyone inside an early warning. And fire officials say smoke detectors can save lives, but if you think you can't afford one, here's how to get one free. In Dallas, you can call 214-670-7016. In Fort Worth, you can call 817-871-6860. Both fire departments provide those smoke detectors and also install them for needy families. If you missed those, we'll repeat those numbers a little bit later in the newscast. Crystal?
And we definitely will have those numbers for you once again. Dallas firefighters still don't know what caused a warehouse fire earlier tonight just south of Love Field Airport. Thick clouds of black smoke could be seen all the way from downtown Fort Worth. The St. Martin Trade Company warehouse manufactured leather goods such as purses, and firefighters say chemicals used to make those goods are very volatile.
You know, the newborn baby that was thrown out of a house window on New Year's Day will remain in the state's care. But the fight for Maria Torres' custody goes on. WB33's Joanne Casteneda reports that the baby's grandmother wanted to keep the child.
Shackled and chained, Petra Torres walked into a Parker County courtroom this morning. Today's hearing was to decide the future of Torres' newborn baby.
I don't know her. I feel like I don't know her. Like maybe I never did know her.
And Torres didn't get to know her baby. Police say she put the newborn in a plastic bag and dumped her out of the window of this Weatherford house. The woman Torres worked for thinks the baby is better off with the state.
That's what parenting is all about, is the choices you make on the spur of the moment. That's good parenting, whether you do the right thing or the wrong thing.
During today's court proceedings, Petra Torres did ask the judge if her baby could be placed in the care of her mother. At that time, the judge requested a home study.
We'll be looking at possible relatives, including the maternal grandmother, as a possible placement for this child. But for now, baby Maria will remain in foster care.
Torres won't be seeing the baby for some time because she's still in jail on attempted murder charges. Joanne Casteneda, WB33 News at 9.
And the baby, Maria Elena Torres, is in good condition and is living in a foster home.
Some Darrell Elementary School leaders say a fence around a DART rail train track might have prevented the death of an Oak Cliff boy. 9-year-old Dextrick Clark died when he was hit by a DART train yesterday while trying to cross the tracks. The train's operator says he saw the boy but couldn't stop in time. School leaders say they've asked for a fence to be put around the tracks before.
And we have been trying very diligently and continuously to get a fence put up. I know that may not stop it, it may not could have, but I do think it would be a deterrent.
Now, the place where Dextrick crossed was not a pedestrian crossing, and all day today, transit police handed out tickets to anyone who illegally crossed that intersection.
A new Dallas County computer system is supposed to speed up the mailing of child support checks. Instead, it's doing the exact opposite. About 5,000 families still have not received this month's checks in the mail. Dallas County child support workers say bugs in the new system and the holidays are to blame. The backlog is expected to last through the end of the month. Well, neighbors say the St. Anne's Church in their area is a piece of their history, and now the Catholic Church is starting to agree, or at least is willing to compromise. Neighbors want St. Anne's designated an historic site, but the Catholic Church would rather sell the property. The city planning office met for hours this afternoon to find a compromise. The church still wants to sell the property on Harry Hines Boulevard, but it says they are looking at alternatives.
The diocese is willing to designate the 1927 portion of the old St. Anne's School, the original building, if the rest of the building and the rest of the site would not be designated. That way the diocese would be able to sell the land and be able to help reduce the debt from the cost settlements.
The City Planning Commission has decided to designate only the building as historical, not the whole St. Anne's property. The final decision, though, will be up to the City Council.
Texas Governor George W. Bush has a 2-to-1 lead over Elizabeth Dole for next year's Republican presidential nomination in a new national poll. The governor is in Dallas tonight for a banquet at the Westin Galleria. He says it's way too early to be concerned about presidential polls, but he says he is seriously considering a run for the White House, and prominent Republicans from around the nation have been visiting him in Austin.
Well, another leader is being remembered this weekend with song and celebration.
Still ahead, see what these kids are doing to celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday and what you can plan for the weekend.
Also, will the president have to testify at his own trial? We'll have the latest news from Capitol Hill.
And don't forget to join Niles, Eddie, Daphne, and all the gang on Frasier tonight at 9:30. Right now, though, we're going to check in with meteorologist Steve LaNore with a first look at your weather.
Is it warmer now than it was a couple of hours ago?
Well, not really.
Not really? Okay.
It's cool, but not terribly cold. We are running right around 40 degrees currently. It'll be a cold night again tonight, but good news if you're hoping for warmer weather for the weekend. Stick around for that a little bit later.